You're listening to The Bountiful Yogi, a podcast where soul meets practice and where we explore what it means to live, lead, and love from a place of deep alignment. I'm Heather, and I created this space as part of Sea Life as a Muse, a platform for storytelling, healing, and embodiment for people who feel deeply and are doing their best to live with intention. Whether you're a seeker, a healer, a teacher, a creative, or someone simply navigating the world with an open heart, I'm so glad you're here. However you got here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. It means the world to me that you're here. These episodes are meant to be short and digestible, little pockets of perspective. And if you feel inclined, you can read the blog that inspired today's episode at sealifeasamuse.com or on Substack. Let's take a breath together and begin. Today, we're diving into a topic that I feel resonates deeply with many of us: the seeds we plant in our lives. We often hear the phrase planting seeds and imagine optimism, growth, and success, tiny beginnings blossoming into something beautiful. But here's the truth: not every seed we plant yields the outcome we expect. Some seeds sprout weeds, some struggle to grow, and some bear fruit that doesn't serve us at all. And that's okay. Just like in nature, our inner garden, the thoughts, intentions, and actions we plant, doesn't always produce what we envisioned. Recognizing this truth invites patience, humility, and mindfulness into our growth. And if you haven't been with me for a while, you may not know that I've become somewhat obsessed with what I call dirt therapy. It's been a metaphor for so many things in my work and life lately: the grounding, the mess, the patience it takes to let something take root. The garden has become one of my greatest teachers, showing me that growth is rarely tidy, but always transformative. Today, we'll explore the meaning of those seeds, the intentional and the unintentional, the ones that thrive and the ones that don't. Each one has something to teach us. So let's begin. Not every seed we plant is consciously chosen. Sometimes, without realizing it, we're sowing seeds of fear, impatience, or self-doubt. They can take root quietly in our thoughts, our habits, or even in the stories we tell ourselves until they become part of the soil we live in. Seeds of resentment, insecurity, or comparison can sprout quickly if we're not paying attention. Awareness is the first step in tending our garden with intention. When we pause long enough to ask, "What am I planting right now?" we begin to choose differently, watering the seeds of self-trust, compassion, and curiosity instead of the ones that drain us. Some seeds need more time or a different environment to flourish. A sunflower can't bloom in the shade, and an oak won't grow overnight. The same is true for our dreams, our projects, and our healing. If something you've been nurturing isn't growing yet, it doesn't mean you've failed. It might just need more time or a shift in the soil around it. Maybe your inner ground needs rest. Maybe you need new tools or the sunlight of community, or simply to step back and breathe. Patience isn't passive, it's an act of faith, a quiet trust that what's meant to bloom will when the season is right. Not every seed will thrive, and that's one of life's most honest teachers. When a plan, relationship, or dream doesn't take root, it doesn't mean it was wasted. It means it served its purpose to teach you something about your timing, your needs, or your resilience. Ask yourself, why didn't this seed thrive? Was it missing nourishment, or was it simply not meant for this particular season? Sometimes the seeds that never sprout offer the richest lessons. They teach us to adapt, to let go, and to begin again. Failure, in that way, becomes compost, breaking down what no longer serves us and feeding what's next. When a seed doesn't yield good fruit, it can turn into a weed, something that drains our energy and crowds out new growth. Weeds might look like negative self-talk, old expectations, or habits that once protected us but now keep us small. Tending our inner garden means noticing those weeds and pulling them with compassion. No judgment, just recognition that they've served their purpose. When we clear that space, we make room for new life, for peace, creativity, and joy to take root. Not every seed needs to grow into something grand to hold meaning. Even the ones that don't bloom reveal what truly matters to us. A seed that doesn't flourish can still remind us of our courage to try, our willingness to learn, and our capacity to begin again. Every seed tells a story of what we hoped for, what we released, and what we've become through the tending. When we embrace the whole cycle, planting, growing, pruning, and resting, we stop chasing perfection and start honoring the process itself. In the garden of our lives, not all seeds will bear the fruit we expect, and that's part of the beauty. Each one plays a role in shaping who we are. The ones that flourish remind us of our strength. The ones that fade teach us surrender. And together they create the wisdom of being human. So as you move through your day, take a moment to notice what you're planting in your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Nurture the seeds that align with your truth. Gently release the ones that don't. And remember, even when a seed doesn't bloom, the act of planting it was still an act of hope. Thank you for sharing this space with me today. May the dirt under your nails and the life you're growing remind you that you're always in process, always evolving, and always enough. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear how it lands. You can find me and the full community over at Sea Life as a Muse on Substack, Blue Sky, and Discord. That's where I share weekly reflections, voice notes, meditations, and behind the scenes thoughts on this journey of healing and alignment. You can also read the blog that inspired this episode and explore more ways to engage with this work at sealifeasamuse.com or Substack. The link is in the description. This podcast is part of that living library, rooted in story, shaped by practice, and led by heart. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Until next time, stay bountiful and always see life as a muse.